Unfortunately, the reality of SHTF is very different, especially depending on your area. And I always harp on your location because that's extremely important. And people really don't really understand how important your location is going to determine what type of SHTF you're going to experience. Now, keep this in mind. When I come here, I share most of my experience that I have lived through when I was living in Cuba, a communist country, a country that had been in SHTF for the past 60 years. I experienced 16 years of those 60 years. Then I moved here to the US and I continue my preparedness journey until today. So I don't know anything but preparedness. And to make matters even worse, to better understand it when it came to why the government do the things that they do, I went and I got myself a degree in emergency management just to top it off. So I went through the whole FEMA thing and I studied the whole thing, just to educate myself and to see, how can we better, or how can I better mitigate when things come my way. I never went into FEMA, I worked for FEMA or anything like that. That was never my purpose. I literally pay to be taught. That way I knew, how they think, how they do things. I don't think a lot of people have done that, put their money with their money with their mouth. I don't know how the saying goes. If you remember, put it in the comment section below. But you guys know what I'm saying. I paid to be educated in that field. Now, the reality is that even though that I come here with past experience, even though that I come here with some background or education, better yet, education on emergency management, the reality is that no one in this platform knows how the SHTF is going to be. No one. What I experienced in Cuba is totally different what is going to happen here, because this is not Cuba. What I study and I got a degree on, it will not be what happened, because you cannot mitigate for every single scenario. You just can't. So you have that percentage in there that you won't know how to react or act until the actual SHTF happened, or the scenario or the event happened. Then you move forward with a plan. Hopefully you have something close that you can branch from there. Hopefully that makes sense. So keep this in mind. What I live in Cuba was a lot of lack of food, a lot of lack of transportation, a lot of lack of shelter, because everything is owned by the government, and the government wants your property or your house because they're going to build a baseball field in there. They're going to take it and you have no saying. So essentially you are homeless. Even if you live in a house, even if that house was passed on to you by your great grandparents, they still will come and take it. That was the case with a lot of folks when Castro took power. They took the land and that's it. So you don't own anything. Everybody in Cuba is homeless, for lack of a better word. That's food. There's no food. Plain and simple. You get a ration book. Firearms, extremely illegal. You see what I'm saying? So I come to you with that mindset. I make decisions based on what I have lived through, my education, and my life, the way that I have lived my life here after I got here. So the reality is, again, nobody knows how an SHTF here will be. Now, there's a lot of theories, but theories are nothing more than written scripts. And like I said, when something does happen, hopefully you will have a plan that is close enough so you can branch from there. But the reality is, how many people have a plan? Not many. You see what I'm saying? So take this for example. When I remember, I think it was Rick Scott, the one that passed that You needed to be 21 to buy any firearm in Florida and whatnot. And I was like, this is the last straw for me. Florida for me was like it became a communist state at that point. So that was the last straw for me. Then I decided to sell everything and move all the way to Alaska. Stream, right? But at the same time, I was like, well, I have to move away from this socialist mindset, and things have changed in the past decade. Things have changed, but I wasn't willing to take the chance. So in essence, you can say, well, Billy, that was a scenario, but I had a plan. I did my due diligence, everything to the last single detail. And guess what? When I got here to Alaska, a lot of things were different. So you see, all the planning and everything just went down the window, in a sense. So now, when you hear folks saying, well, you're going to have to bug out because you're going to have to do this. Well, my friends, where are you going to go? Because if you don't have a property that is yours, thousands, if not millions of people are going to go to public lands. And if you think that you're going to be living off the wild population when you have 1,000 deers and you have 1 million people hunting that 1,000 deers, let me tell you something, that population is not going to last long. If you have 100 people fighting for that same squirrel, squirrels are not going to last long. And then you're going to see them fighting against each other. That is not even a question. That is not even a question. How many people fight during Black Friday? And that is in good times. So what makes you think that is not going to happen? What makes you think it's not going to happen when they don't have food? Of course it will happen. We all know what happened with the toilet paper shortages, that people were fighting it over toilet paper. Like they didn't have newspaper. They forgot that they can clean their behind with newspapers. I was like flabbergasted by that, to tell you the truth. I mean, people fighting over toilet paper with paper towels literally right next to the toilet paper. I literally saw a couple of times that, and I was like, but you can achieve the same thing, with paper towels. Just don't flush it down the toilet. But you see what I'm saying? So there is a level of, I don't want to say dumbification, but I would say herd mentality. I think that explains it better. Herd mentality when it comes to SHTF. And when you see people panicking, many more will follow. So plan for that. That's something that we didn't experience much in Cuba, because a lot of people, unfortunately, over there cowered down because they didn't have means to defend themselves. And those of us who rose to try our best to say things, we got shut down heavily and harsh and with scars. I will say it that way. We still bear the scars because of that. The other thing is the reality of SHTF is that a lot of folks think that just because they go to the range one day once a month, they're fine. That's not the way it goes. Muscle memory is a thing you have to practice, and practice takes time and it takes money. And that is something that a lot of folks nowadays are struggling with, the money part. So if you don't have money to buy ammunition, then there's no way for you to practice. That's why I always say, like, hey, 22s, man. 22s will set you straight. I mean, you can't beat even this one that is $4.99 here for me, 50 rounds. I mean, you can get it cheaper. You can get bulk and whatnot, and at least you will have something. So, yeah. Keep that in mind. So I'm telling you all so you can understand that I'm not immune, nor my family is immune to the things that you suffer. We are in the same boat, but I'm sharing with y'all what we try to do, because in SHTF here, the reality is it's going to be very different than the one that I experienced in Cuba. But I also need to consider how things were over there so I can implement it in here, and hopefully I can branch with my plans after SHTF hits. Before that, everything is theory. Flat out. I'm not going to come here and pretend otherwise. Everything before SHTF is theory. Once it hits, hopefully you will have a plan close enough that you can branch from there. And hopefully, I pray to God that everybody has a plan. That being said, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in the next one.